A world much similar to our own, yet under the veil that is ordinary civilization lies a society of mages, blended with the normal crowd, carry the knowledge and ability of fantasy. Such is the setting of Mahoutsukai No Yoru, or Witch on the Holy Night, a Type Moon visual novel first distributed back in the year of 2012, that has yet to be fully translated into English. But earlier this year was announced to be getting an HD re-release, and with it an official English version. So what is this phantom that has seemed to avoid the hands of a fraction of the Type Moon fanbase for a decade now? Though I have not read the visual novel in its entirety, I have read the first 3 chapters using an incomplete fan translation to get a gist of this beloved work. Hopefully, some of my thoughts will be a nice introduction to stir some anticipation leading up to December 8th. The beginning is a soft, comfortable, yet traumatic foundation for one of the 3 main characters, Aoko Awazaki, sent to acquire the knowledge to succeed her Magi lineage through a rumored witch, Alice Kuonji. Fast forward 2 years after the girls met, to a day that was meant to be spent lazily in the comfort of one's own bed, when, abruptly, Aoko is torn from her time of rest, acquiescing to be a guide for a new transfer student, Shizuki Sojuro. These 3 make up the main characters, with their day-to-day lives standing at the center of this story as they strive for their respective goals. Aoko, who at first glance lives a normal life, maintains a balance between her school and studies of magecraft. Through a short temper, attempts to hold an image fit for an honors student. However, has trouble keeping her true emotions suppressed. Even through all of the annoyances she faces, her diligence keeps her true to her duties. Alice, the aloof mage that has taken Aoko under her wing to teach her the proper makings of a magus. She is almost emotionless, doll-like. However, there are moments when the restraints she places on her emotions wear down. And finally, Shizuki, a boy from the mountains, ignorant of all things in modern society that are seen as common knowledge. His life bereft of everyday use items and facilities, while homesick, slowly grows accustomed to city life. Though Shizuki was distant, mostly unrelated to the aforementioned mentor and student, through an accidental sight of their magecraft, ties their fates together, disrupting their banal days and leading them onto their forthcoming tale. What follows is left unknown for myself. While the first 3 chapters may seem basic in summary, the in-depth characterization, apt pacing, and well-paced building blocks makes this 3 to 4 hour read rich with detail. Dialogue comes off naturally, giving a realistic portrayal of the cast's unique traits. Prose flows like a river as it conveys each main character's situation in life. Visuals are lush in detail, yet light and easy on the eyes. It takes its time, progressing at its leisure, doing well to envelop you in a comforting atmosphere akin to a brisk winter day. I can't stress enough the overall relaxing vibe that is spread throughout. The opening credit sequence is the paragon of this, setting the tone and quality going forward. It is important to mention that the use of animation isn't used sparsely. Every scene and interaction is brimming with constant sprite manipulation and moving, alternating backgrounds to provide a cinematic-like experience. This, of course, is all accented with a light, upbeat soundtrack ranging from trance-centered music to classical. Then when the more suspenseful and action-oriented moments occur, the presentation picks up to match the writing's pace. It's impressive given how static the visual novel medium usually is. It fits nicely with the author Kinoko Nasu's other works. Certain to build upon certain aspects in the shared world, that were only lightly touched upon. As a mage in learning is featured here, the story has the opportunity to dive deep into the fundamentals of the world's magecraft system, and that mage is one who, through a small role in Tsukihime and varying levels of relevance in Melty Blood, has a backstory and nature that has remained elusive. But now, Aoko Aozaki is the one taking the spotlight, and given what is said about her in the preceding titles, we could see her reach into an interesting sector of magic, and also get a small glimpse into how she became the person we see her as later on. This also goes for her arbitrarily mentioned sister Toko, who had a supporting role in Kara no Kyokai. Even though a lot more was known about her from her previous role, mystery still lies ahead. I'm all but certain she too will undergo needed development, as she seems to play in opposition to her sister. And from what is known from them, most likely the Mage Association is going to play a big part as well later on. I can see from these first 3 chapters, Mahoutsukai no Yoru is a brilliant piece, not just in conjunction with the universe it takes place in, but also as a standalone story. It is important to note that while it shares many ideas and settings with Nasu's other well-known works, Mahoutsukai no Yoru seems much the opposite in terms of its story direction. Action, horror, and suspense are staples of his work, and while they appear here, it seems as if those aspects are going to take a backseat, staying close to our protagonist's everyday lives as it tells a more grounded, character-driven narrative, focusing on the trio's budding relationships between themselves and others they meet. I can only assume that as their story unfolds, so will their hearts for one another. In even the first few hours, such developments are clear. Though a lot remains unknown for myself, I'm excited for this upcoming winter. I'm anticipating to see where this story will lead. Now that I think about it, December is brimming with awaited Type Moon works. There's Lost Belt 7 for Fate Grand Order. It's safe to say that the Tsukihime's translation for the Tsukihime remake will release around that time given their current progress. And of course the honored guest of this video, the Mahoyo re-release. Maybe this release, alongside the anime announcement, is a sign that those sequels that had been alluded to years ago may finally come to fruition. What a great time to be a Type Moon fan. And with that, I hope you enjoyed. Thanks for watching. Later.